Hello and welcome back everybody. I am here again. Sorry about the technical difficulties at the end of the last game between Pain Gaming and Mysterious Monkeys. My computer actually blue screened at precisely the wrong moment. However, I am returned now and there should be no further technical difficulties. We also apologize for the delay in between games 1 and 2. We might be able to bring you a third game after this one. It depends on the result of one of the games currently going on, because we might have to have a tiebreaker which we can bring to you. Otherwise, if that's not the case, then this will be the last game for today. My name is Tasty Aldar, with me is Benvarmeren, and here we are in the Champion Select for this game between True Esports and Different Dimension.
And we are already seeing the pick and bans coming out, so let's just jump straight into it.
Yeah, so pick and bans coming, well, the bans rather, coming through fairly quickly so far. Klister and Thresh have been banned out on one side, and Azir and Gragas have been banned out on the side of Different Dimension.
I like to see Azir and Gragas being banned because, I mean, Gragas, he's a very strong jungler. I think he's one of the strongest jungler if you want to have a more tanky jungler. So I like to see him being taken away, and then also Azir is that high risk, high reward champion. So I'm also glad to see him being taken away, just because he can be such a pestilent if he gets to a more late game point in the game.
Last ban was Nidalee, which is very appropriate actually, because if you look onto the Different Dimension side, the jungler's name currently is Nidalee Ban, and that is exactly what has happened so far. In fact, we're not going to see a last ban coming out of Different Dimension there, so I imagine that's strategic rather than a mistake or lag. No remakes have been called yet or anything like that, so that looks to have been intentional. I guess they just didn't want to take any more champions off the table.
Well, I can't really analyze that, that they didn't ban out anything, but yeah, Nidalee also been taken away. She is one of the stronger early game junglers. She's not really as strong as Graves and Kindred, and she has been touched in this game, and in this patch 6.6, so that she no longer roots monsters, and her her pounce no longer is an auto attack reset. So she can take more damage in her first run through the jungle, her first clear. So in that way, she's a little bit weaker, but she's still a good poke jungler if you want to get some poke, because she's still that pokey mid laner as she used to be. Well, not exactly as she used to be, but definitely brings a lot of damage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. More damage than the vast majority of junglers, certainly. The first pick has already come through on the side of True Esports. That will be the Sivir, locked in for Ricardinho there. So that is a fairly standard pick, I think, right now. Sivir, pretty strong considering the buffs, particularly to the Ricochet recently. On the other side, we're seeing a Heimerdinger hover now. Is this the second Heimerdinger we're going to see? We're going to stream for you, and it is. What? It is locked in, so I imagine that'll be going to Tanas in the top lane. Corki is the other lock-in. Could be going for MGB or for Miracles, either in the middle lane or the bottom lane there, but that's the second Heimerdinger we've seen this tournament, which is pretty insane in itself, to be honest.
That is definitely true, but I feel like Heimerdinger, he is of course a good lane bully. He's a good lane champion as well, because he can just hold his own with his turrets and he's never going to be in trouble. But the thing is that he can of course use his ultimate onto his E, so that he can have a lot of ways to escape. But Sivir and On the Hunt are easily able to get into the meat of Heimerdinger and take him down. So you need more disengage over on the side of Different Dimensions now if you want to get away.
Yep, and another hover of another champion we have seen already, but would be nice to see again, is Aurelion Sol. Will it be changed away at the last second? Doesn't look like it. No, okay, no, it does look like it. It looks very much like it. In fact, Dr. Mundo is the lock-in, along with Alistar. Haven't seen Dr. Mundo for a while.
No, we haven't, and I actually like this pickup against Corki and Heimerdinger, because those are some very tanky, sorry, not tanky, bursty mages. And you also have Alistar, so you have two very tanky champions over on the side of True Esports now. And that will definitely help them to deal with the burst that can come out of Corki and Heimerdinger. But depending on where Mundo is going to go, I'm not quite sure how I like the pick, but let's see where he's going to go because he's a flex pick. He can go to jungle and to the top lane.
Yeah, indeed, and I mean he was nerfed quite significantly since he was in that point where he was the strongest champion in the game. But I still think he isn't incredibly weak. On the other side, one champion who has been buffed recently is Maokai, so it makes a lot of sense, and I'm surprised we haven't seen more Maokai so far this tournament, but there is the Maokai lock-in, so I imagine that will actually be going to the top lane, and that means that I believe it will be MGBE on that Heimerdinger in the middle lane instead, and the Soraka also locked in.
We don't have to draw conclusions quite yet. Maokai can of course go to the jungle if needed.
Of course.
But as you said, Maokai is way better in the top lane, because that means that he'll be able to get more gold, more resources, and he'll be able to be more tanky. So I really like Maokai because he has been buffed. His base magic resist have been buffed so that he has more of it, and his growth is also going to bring more magic resistance to him. But I'd like to see him build a Righteous Glory. We didn't see that yesterday when the Maokai was played. And Righteous Glory is just such a huge part of Maokai's kit, because Maokai's kit doesn't involve any way of getting onto a target. So you need that movement speed in order to get to the target. So pick up the Righteous Glory. It will also help you with disengaging, because it brings your team some movement speed as well. And I talked about disengaging. They picked up Soraka instead.
Yep, and on the other side, the last two lock-ins did come through for True Esports. That will be the Lux going to the middle lane. That will be going to Golden God there, I imagine at least. And the Poppy heading towards the top lane. So that does mean, almost certainly, that the Dr. Mundo will be in the jungle. We could see Poppy in the jungle, of course. Can still go there as well, but I imagine Disney will be on that Dr. Mundo, and Oclamats will be on that Poppy as well.
Yeah,
Last lock-in coming through Echo. It is Echo that's locked in. Different dimension. So that will be what Nidalee is going to go for instead in the jungle. And we'll see how the champions are locked. Oh, okay. Seems we've had another error with the champion select. And we'll see if we're able to remake the lobby as quickly as possible here. I'm not quite sure what's gone on so far. Oh, okay. Another issue with picking the wrong champions, interestingly, is the fact that Heimerdinger was actually not meant to be the champion that was locked in. It was meant to be Lucian.
Yeah, so, yes, okay, so Heimerdinger were a placeholder, and we got hyped over nothing, but let's talk about that last pick, the Echo. That fits into the team composition in a good way, I think. You get a mage in the in the jungle. You have Echo, who actually got buffed. His E is now way stronger, his face dive. It has a lower cooldown, and he can, with that lower cooldown, clear his jungle faster. And he will also be able to buy a Runic Echoes, which will empower his kit so that he'll have more damage, he'll have, again, an easier time clearing his jungle. So I actually like Echo pickup, and just generally Echo is such a strong champion.
Here the bans coming through, doesn't matter what they are, they'll just be quickly going through. The same bans are banned out by True Esports, but I don't think it's going to matter. Everyone should just pick the same picks that they had already, and we'll be underway any moment if we can get through this pick and ban phase quickly as possible. There is the Poppy, of course Maokai, going for Tannis in the top lane. We've seen this before.
Yes, we do indeed have seen that before, and Poppy versus Maokai is a matchup I'm not quite familiar with, but still, Poppy is just a lane bully. And the thing is, in this matchup, I can imagine someone like Maokai not actually having too hard of a problem, because if Poppy wants to be pushing the lanes, then she has to use her Q. And whenever you use an ability close to Maokai, his passive will start to stack up, and that will bring him more sustain. So actually, I think this matchup is going to be very easy for Maokai in order to sustain and get the resources able for him to get to a point where he can start to group with his team and actually have a way of doing something in this game. And also his root will surely help Nidalee band with having some strong ganks.
Yeah, it should do. Indeed, we'll be able to see if they're able to make the team composition work as we get closer to the game now. The compositions have been rounded out once again. So it will be the Echo coming through for the jungle, and that will be the Lucian going over to Miracles, rather than the Corki and the Heimerdinger going into the mid lane, like we thought it was going to be. Unfortunately, no Heimerdinger this game. However, we do get to see Mundo, which I haven't seen in a while, so that's at least vaguely exciting.
So I'm also getting told that the bottom laner of Different Dimensions' name is actually Hungry Panda. So it's not whatever his name is called. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
Do you mean the support?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You post something.
Okay, so that's Hungry Panda. Okay.
Yes, but
right.
Now we can talk a little bit about the two team compositions, because on the side of Different Dimensions, we have this very team fight oriented team composition where they just want to have extended team fights. They want to be able to utilize their Soraka picks so that you can survive all of the bursts that can come through a Lux and the ricochets from Sivir in the late game, and that's exactly the opposite that True Esports wants to do. They want to burst someone out very fast, and then they want to be using their sustained damage coming from Sivir in order to win the team fights. They don't want to have these extended team fights. They just want to have a team fight consisting of maybe 10 seconds so that Ricalino can get off his combos off his boomerang blades and his ricochets, and after Golden God has used his combos, then they will have to have bursted someone down, and someone like MBE who hasn't picked up a cleanse can get into some bad trouble.
Yeah, the exhaust is still there, so that is still a defensive summoner for him. And there are actually 2 exhausts on the side of Different Dimension, which is countered on the other side by a TP and an Ignite. So more aggressive summoners certainly on the side of True Esports. So they'll probably be looking for standard lanes, I would have thought, though I'm not entirely certain about that. It's sort of touch and go, because Sivir can be pretty strong in the lanes, and the Ignite does suggest that they'll be looking for that lane matchup. However, Lucian also a very strong laner, and Soraka just so annoying to lane against.
Well, I'd like to see a lane swap coming from both of the teams, just because while you have a lane bully on the side of Different Dimensions, you have Soraka as well, so of course she can also poke a lot with her Q, but still Echo and Maokai are also excellent at picking up towers and tanking the minions that allows your minions to do a lot of the damage onto the towers. So I'd like to see a lane swap being initiated by Different Dimensions in order to get the gold going for them. And someone like Ricalino can, of course, if he starts with Ricochet at level 1, respond to that, but still just get the lane swap rolling. Really, it opens up for a lot of plays to be made, and someone like Maokai with that root synergy and the gang coming from Echo, that could be a very good thing for them if they could open up the map with taking down towers.
Okay, so if you had to pick between either of these 2 teams, I know I always ask you this, but still, if you had to pick between either of these 2 teams based purely on the team compositions and the summoners they've chosen, who would you give it to?
I'd like to give it. I know Different Dimensions are a very good team, and I know they definitely have their synergy together, as they were able to qualify for the spring qualification for the Challenger Series. And I like their team composition. I know what they want to do. I like how they want to be playing it. But still, Test, they have that burst, and if you're not able to utilize your Soraka pick in order to survive the burst of the Lux, then you can come into some bad trouble. So, if I had to really give it over to anybody, then I'd like to give it over to Different Dimensions. I think they are such a good team, and they are able to play around the double teleport. Still, double teleport, that is what we have to look out for. If Different Dimensions are not able to play around the double teleport, and they can get punished very badly by it. So that's what I have to look out for. But you asked me which one I would give it over to, and that my answer is Different Dimensions.
Okay, right. So a nice clear-cut answer there in the end, at least. Nothing too special coming out from the choice of Keystone Masteries here. Pretty vanilla across the board, as you would expect. Especially the Warlords on Sivir become very usual to see that on Sivir players, and Lucians do tend to stick for the further battle because they can stack it up so quickly with the double shot passes.
And the only thing that sticks out to me on the Keystone Masteries is Alistar's, because he didn't go for the... I'm not quite sure what it's called, the heal Keystone
The Windspeaker's Blessing.
Yes, there it is. I'm always having trouble remembering the support, so... So he didn't go for Windspeaker's Blessing, and we did see that a little bit before patch 6.6, but in patch 6.6 his heal got nerfed, so it's only 33% as effective on champions as it is on minions. So obviously you don't want to go for Windspeaker's Blessing anymore.
Right. Okay, so that is what's being gone for Hungry Panda on the side of Different Dimensions, so... But that makes a lot of sense on the Soraka. I mean, considering it's a champ based entirely around healing your allies, I'd be very surprised to see anything else coming out of the Soraka.
That's right. I mean, if you don't go for the Windspeaker's Blessing, it's just so much better in the long run. You could obviously go for a Thunderlord's Decree, but that's more of playing around the laning phase. It's more selfish. It might help you get the lane dominance, but still, getting more healing would just be better. And you said Soraka is about healing, so why not go for something that empowers something so core in a kit?
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to see both bot lanes starting off on the bot side, and we are actually going to see the bot lane of Different Dimension coming in to try and disrupt the Krug start, which True Esports are going for. They are going to finish off the little Krug, but I don't think they're going to be able to get anything more than that. So a good denial there from Miracles and Hungry Panda, able to prevent too much XP going over for Ricardino and I Should Carry. And Miracles is able to push them fairly off the wave right now, so no lane swaps coming through. Both junglers started on the top side and will be working their way down towards the bottom side, via the jungle camps, of course.
Of course, via the jungle camps. Well, in the bottom lane, actually, I talked a little bit about how I like to see the lane swap. I mean, now that we are actually panning it out, MGB is taking a lot of damage, but that might not matter too much, as he has an exhaust, so Golden God will surely have to be wary of that. But
yeah, the Golden God, I mean, he can probably output a lot of his damage from outside of exhaust range, to be honest, so MGB does have to be a little bit careful in that middle lane. More careful than he was being, certainly.
That is definitely right. But as I was saying, I talked a little bit about how I think I'd like to see the lane swap, just because it's always a good way to open up the map to be able to make more plays in the early game. But now that we're seeing it, we can actually see that Lucian, he's playing like he should be. He's playing like a lane bully, so that's very good. They're already setting an example here in the early game, and as we can see in the top lane, Maokai is also having an easy time, especially against Poppy, who wants to be using so many abilities. He can sustain so hard. I mean, he went for Dawn's Blade, so obviously his dueling is better than Poppy's, but if he went for a Corrupting Potion, he would have gone all in on sustaining. He didn't go for that, obviously, but still, a Dawn's Ring, it's not a bad start for him.
No, and he's actually putting down a lot of damage onto Occlumats there in the top side. Occlumats going to have to be a bit careful, because even under tower he's being poked out, and he is actually going to recall to base right now. So, strong start here from Thanos in the top lane on that Maokai, and putting it to good work so far. The TP will be forced out of Occlumats. He didn't want to lose too much experience and gold from those minions, so that is now one TP apiece available on each side now. Golden God actually going to go aggressive onto MGB here, and Dismy is there as well. But the Valkyrie is there, and it's a large gap opener in that case, and MGBE was able to get out with no trouble. Nidalee was also hanging around just in case.
Did you see how many abilities MGB just dodged there? He dodged like... First he dodged the binding coming from Lux, then he dodged the Lucian Singularity. And then he dodged the cleaver as well from Dismy, so he was just very slippery right there.
Yeah, no, certainly a very good play from MGBE to make sure that he isn't going to be going down in the middle lane. He has gone back to base though and picked himself up a Sapphire Crystal at some point, so That'll give him a little bit more mana in lane, so he'll be able to use abilities a little bit more. Hopefully he'll be able to try and trade a bit more with Golden God, because Golden God has been getting the better of the middle lane so far, you feel?
Yeah, well, Golden God is also getting a CS advantage, so that's expected from a Lux. I mean, she is also a lane bully. She, with her Lucian Singularity, is able to put out a lot of damage, especially in the early game. Because of her passive, the illumination, it just allows her to really proc a lot of burst just from the get-go of the game. So someone like MGB, when you are playing Corki, you obviously are squishy as he is an AD carry. So that is definitely a factor we have
Yeah.
to have in the back of our head when talking about the mid lane.
Yep, he has actually gone back to base. An aggressive, relentless pursuit there from Miracles, but he doesn't even hear any shots afterwards, so I'm not quite sure what he was going for there, but didn't go down for it, didn't take any damage for it, so you know what? No harm done in the end to him. NGB did go back to base once again. It has picked himself up a Sheen now, so once again, more trading power for him in the middle lane, but he is falling quite significantly behind in CS. He'll be able to catch it up a bit with the minion wave that's coming into him now. Actually, we're going to see a bit of trading going on the top side. Oclomats has hit level 6 before Tanas was able to, and Tanas getting the worst of this trade. Oclomats hasn't used the ultimate yet, though. Might do if Tanas gets much lower, but he does have the sap magic there to sustain him on Maokai, and there is his level 6 as well, so I doubt Oclomats is going to be able to get any kill over, though he does actually put him onto flashing red health there, and Tanas going to have to recall out of there now, and he's going to TP straight back, one would imagine, and that will even out the TPs across the board, as Golden God did use his to get back to lane as well.
Yeah, so no TP are available for either team right here. So different dimensions aren't really able to play around the dragon. If they want to, they certainly have to pull Tanas all the way down. He has to walk there if he wants to be playing around the dragon, but there's no reason to do it. You're already winning so hard in the bottom lane, so you don't want to be spoiling that. At this moment, you just want to be warding up, making sure that Miracles and Hungry Panda are able to keep going there. And you can see they have a lot of vision around the bottom side. There's three wards in the enemy jungle, and they also have the Rift Scuttler. So Miracles and Hungry Panda will always know if there's coming any trouble.
Yeah, all of the star calls that Hungry Panda is casting are being spell shielded out by Ricardino, so that's not really such a strong spell in lane anymore, particularly because it's so telegraphed. But Ricardino, having said that, is still having the worst time of the bottom lane there, and a 15 CS advantage right now for Miracles, and he'll be looking to grow that as much as he can, and in fact, mainly that CS advantage is what's causing there to be a gold lead in favor of Different Dimension. This might increase it though, as Dismy's caught out in the jungle. First blood taken down even through the sustain of his ultimate there by MGB and Nidalee. A lot of burst damage came through for them, and they might be looking to go on towards Golden God now, who does get away from it. Chrono Break was available for Nidalee, who does get away in the end, despite taking quite a few turret shots. MGB, once again, expertly dodging the abilities from Golden God.
You have to respect the burst of a Corgi with a Sheen. That's something you really have to respect, especially as a Mundo who aren't really very tanky for only being nearly 10 minutes into the game. You have to respect it very much. And you talked about how Soraka's ability, the Star Call, always got spell shielded into bottom lane. I actually feel like that is a good trait for them, because it allows Lucian to land his piercing light onto Sivir whenever she doesn't have her spell shield up. So it's actually a good trade. And obviously the piercing light will deal more damage than the Star Call.
Yes, but I do think that actually providing Ricardino with free mana is helping him to stay more relevant than he would be otherwise in this situation, because they could bully him off of the wave completely, and if he's out of mana, then he only has his auto attacks, and he can't even farm from range with Boomerang Blades. But if they keep giving him mana for Boomerang Blades, he's able to get some CS. However, obviously, it's still working out excellently for Different Dimensions so far in the bottom lane, as they have a huge CS advantage right now.
Well, that is definitely true. You don't want to give free mana over to a Sivir, but still, the spell shield would be procced either way. So, probably we're about to go back in the top lane, and Now she's forced to stay here because she wanted to go back and most likely use her teleport in order to come back so that she can catch the wave that Thanos were pushing up. But now she has to stay there and take that wave. She's probably going to go back after this though because she has okay in her pocket. So you want to go back and buy up, or you'll be way too weak compared to what you could be.
Thanos is going to stop the port there just at the last second with a sapling. I mean, Oklamat shouldn't have been recalling in such clear view of the Maokai there. I think that's a little bit perhaps of an oversight there from Oklamat. It did delay him from going back to base further. However, Thanos doesn't seem to be punishing that too awfully much right now. Oklamat is very low on mana though, and will find it hard to CS under turret, but seemed to manage just about okay. Is going to back away further before recalling this time. A wise move.
Wait.
Oh, never mind. Cancels the own recall. Alright.
So, Golden
Oklamat is never going to get to recall.
Oh, teleport coming in.
Teleport coming in. It is Golden God on the way. On the hunt is popped as well. Golden God does get the light binding onto Miracle. Miracle's knocked up. Taken down by Rick Arlino. Good plays from True Esports here. Different dimension, trying to get a return kill on towards it, but it's only Nidalee Band present. Here comes Tamas, and he's gone on to Rick Arlino. One more hit will do it. It's the banana from Soraka that picks it up. Golden God, he's trying to get away from this one right now. Tanas, he's ignited, takes a turret shot. He's going to go down surely. Dismy on towards MGBE now. More kills happening elsewhere in the fight, but they're still fighting out these two. It's going to be a close one, but I think Dismy probably has this. MGBE flashes to the other side, but he doesn't juke the cleaver like he thought he was going to, and he goes down. Nidalee Band and Hungry Panda in full retreat at this point. The last cleaver doesn't land, and overall, I think that was a 2 for 3 in favor of True Esports.
Well played by True Esports. Now, they had a nice reaction to that play, that different dimensions tried to turn around onto them. So, with that being said, they actually... sorry, I just had a brain fart.
It's alright. Oh no! He's never going to be allowed to recall. Poor man. That's like the millionth recall he's been stopped so far this game. Well, it's getting ridiculous.
He were able to go back and pick up his Sunfire.
True.
Not exactly being bullied too much, but as I was saying, they got the kills. That's what matters, and they had to use some teleports as well for it. So it was a good trade for different dimensions in the end, and they are of course still in the goldies. But the thing I really wondered about was that MGB, he didn't use his exhaust in that fight. He could have used it onto Dizzy Me to avoid some of the damage that Dizzy Me were able to put out. Just a little bit cocky coming from him. And also, Miracles, his flash were up, so he could have flashed away from the light binding. But I'm not quite... Maybe he thought it was probably coming in. I'm not quite sure.
I don't know, but either way, I think a respect flash was necessary there, because you gotta accept that the teams you're playing against here, they're good teams, and you need to pay them as much respect as you can. Hungry Panda is caught out a little bit, but is just going to be able to clear away the pink ward regardless. Gets a nice Starfall onto him as well. Supportal combat going over there in the brush while the AD carries farm it out in the bottom lane. Ricardino still quite a way behind in CS, and the fact that he's so far behind in CS is the primary contributor to the fact that there's a gold advantage, a really significant, actually 1k gold advantage for different dimension, despite the fact they're even in kills. There is actually a fight going on the top side, but they're both able to sustain through it, and nothing much is going to happen. Tanas is going to be forced to recall. Oklamas wants to stop it with the buckler, does force the recall to stop, only at the cost of a turret shot, and he gets a bit of revenge.
Now the problem for the bottom lane that were so dominating in the early game is that Ricardino were able to pick up 2 items, the same amount of items as Miracle. So she's able to keep pushing, she's able to just push it out, and she's never going to be bullied anymore, because while she has to spend a lot of mana to get there, the spell shield will obviously help her get a lot of it back.
Yep, and there is a little bit more mana there for Ricardino, just given by the Starfall there.
Oh, this tower is going to go down.
This turret is going to go down. Dismy and Oklamat, they're beating down on it, and Tanas recalled and didn't have teleport to come back to lane. Nidalee Band didn't rotate towards it in time to save the turret, so that will even out the gold now, but the fact that they had to take a turret to even out the gold is pretty bad news for True Esports right now. The CS differential in the bottom lane Still as it was a little bit ago. It's not really expanding too much, but it's still significant. Level 10 Corki actually trading with
Disney coming
Golden
in from
God
behind.
here. NGB's coming, but yes, so's Disney, and Disney's coming in now. He has the ultimate running for the speed boost. Golden God turns it onto NGB. A good exhaust, doesn't quite get to take down Golden God. The last minion hit won't do it either. Nidalee comes in. He wants to pick up that kill. Flashes, goes to the Raptor, but he's locked up by that light binding now. Nidalee might be in trouble as Disney is stunned up, however. Gonna not be rooted by that either. He's going on to Nidalee. This should be another kill. Ricardino's there. On the hunt is Pop. They catch up with him easily. Heals coming through from Hungry Panda aren't enough. I should carry though, and Disney, they're looking to keep going, and Hungry Panda's their next target. Will he be able to get away from it? It looks like he will. Dodges away from the Boomerang Blade as well. Miracle's actually turning some pain back around onto them now. He's going aggressive. This is so back and forth, this fight, and I'm not sure they can do all that much with it. The Flash Starcool didn't bring all that much damage. Ricardino goes low. One more Starcool, not quite enough to do it. They might be able to take down Disney, though, who's sacrificing his life for the team. It's Hungry Panda that picks up his second kill of the game. Miracles tries to keep going, but can't quite get in range.
So in the end, it was a 2-for-1 going in the favor of True Esports. Oh, big plays!
You know what? Okay, it's a 2-for-2 in no one's favor now. Excellent use of the package there from MGB to pick up the kill. Might be caught out though because Golden God has pathed down towards him, but the light binding was evaded by NGB and he was able to escape towards the dragon, which different dimension and now starting up.
I mean, Corki just wanted to show Sivir that he also has a big package to play around with.
Right. But well, I'm not sure Sivir has a very big package, to be honest. That would be a bit worrying, actually. Seen some draw... never mind. Analyze, go ahead.
Yes, it's not rule 31. No, it's 34 here, sorry.
Yeah, 34, yeah.
Anyways, yes, so Golden God were able to pick up a kill, and I feel like that is probably the most important thing that happened in that team fight, because you gave more gold over to the Lux that are already having a good time. I mean, she's been part of 4 kills. Mm-hmm. She now has her Fiends and is going for the components of, as far as I can see, a Death Cap, might be a Luden's Echo, maybe, if she upgrades, if she upgrades the Amplifying Tome into the other component of the Luden's Echo.
Yeah, the Aether Wisp. I think that is probably what Golden God's going to be going for, I'd imagine.
Probably.
A little bit of extra burst.
Yeah, it allows for extra bursts, and it's also such a core component of a kit just to get more burst, because the more burst you have as a Lux, the better you can do your job.
Yeah,
but MGB
absolutely.
might be in some trouble as 4 people are playing around there, but some pings are going down onto them, and he'll just back off.
No one decided to do the Rift Herald so far this game. I doubt it's going to be done at this point. Baron will be up in 1 minute and 50 seconds, and at that point Rift Herald, we all know what happens to poor old Rift Herald at that point, but probably not going to be slain by anyone until he decides to slay himself.
Yeah. I actually would have loved to see a Rift Herald going over to Thanos. If he could have gotten Doom's Eve, that would have helped so much with sustaining and fighting and generally just pushing against this very pushing poppy of Occlumats. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit sad to not see it going over, but actually here comes Echo.
Yeah, here comes Nidalee. He's coming up towards to help Tanas, and Occlumats hasn't realized yet. He's got to know now, and he knows that he's in a lot of trouble. Tried to channel the Keeper's Verdict, but didn't actually hit anyone with it. TP coming in, and Disney is present as well. This could be turned on its head right now. Different dimension, find themselves in a whole lot of trouble. Tanas tries to go back in. He does pick up 1 kill. It's actually Nidalee that picks it up, but a Cleaver slaps him on the back to return the kill. And Different Dimension did well to actually get 1 kill out of that situation in what became a 3v2.
And that's the power of the double teleport. You can always make some plays around the map, and it doesn't really matter, because you can see in the bottom lane, Ricardino and I Should Carry, they don't care that they're fighting in the top lane, they just keep farming. And even in the middle lane, MGB, you have obviously were able to punish Golden God for going to the top lane. So in the end, it were a trade of a kill for a tower, Actually, a trade that comes into the favor of different dimensions, and can they do this result? I'm not quite sure they'll be able to do it before it runs out.
I don't know. Will they be able to do it? I can't remember what the time. Oh, yeah, no, they've got it. They did it. Good job. Okay, so they did manage to just about kill Rift Herald. Yes. So that saves him from having to kill himself in the end. So that's pretty good. It's always sad when that happens. No one likes it when Rift Herald, does his thing. Returns to the void in quotation marks. Actually, we do see on the hunt prompt, I should carry, flashes forward, sees the relentless pursuit away from him, and pulverizes the ground in frustration. Not able to actually catch anyone out there, and a lot of time and resources burned for absolutely nothing in the bottom lane.
Well, it's always good to try something, but now Golden God is looking around trying to find something.
Well, they might be able to take down Hungry Panda. He flashes away from the final spark at the last second. Might be able to stay alive. Has sustain. Doesn't get it, but a kill is returned onto Ricardino. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a slap fight going on the top side, though I'm not sure this is quite so important as what's going on in the bottom lane. Tanas getting the worst of this fight right now. Octomats is winning it. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Miracle's actually going aggressive onto Golden God still, and I should carry no longer has his ultimate because it's run out. Nidalee picks up that kill. A TP was being channeled towards the bottom side, and Octomats did actually get there in the end. Nidalee going back on towards Golden God. Golden God's quite low, but he might be able to turn it around. Has still some burst left in his kit. There is a stylish finish for the kill for Octomats, and they're going to be turning onto Miracles now. Him and Golden God. He tries to turn it back onto Golden God, but Golden God picks him up with the light binding in the end, and what a messy fight from everyone there. I think True Esports won that. I'm pretty sure they won that little trade. Well, they lost the turret in the top lane, actually.
Yeah, but it's a 3-for-2, and I'd give it over to different dimensions, because they got another tower, and towers is just way more important to get than kills, because towers, it opens up the map. So yeah, it's definitely true, and Golden God is now looking for a kill onto Tanas.
Yep, Tanas does juke away from the light binding in that. Might not actually secure his safety, because I should carries here as well. It's very slow headbutt pulverized combo. Disney was on the backside. Meanwhile, Hungry Panda's completely caught out in the bottom lane. Not sure what he was doing that far forward. He will be taken down. Meanwhile, Tanas has tanked so much damage. He stayed alive for so long that MGBE has come along with his package now, and he could potentially do some big damage in this fight. He gets a big slow zone to prevent anyone following besides Disney, and they're trying to turn it onto Disney now. Tanas, not with that much health left, but he has so much tankiness right now that even Golden God's ultimate didn't do that much onto him. Exhaust comes through. Nidalee, he's here as well. There's one kill going over to MGB. Nidalee can't quite get in range to get any of the rest of them with the phase dive auto attack, and that fight will be disengaged in the end unless Octomats actually tries to pick up a kill onto MGB. MGB sees him coming, decides he doesn't really need that Gromp, not worth his life, and will Valkyrie away over the wall. And again, a very messy fight once more.
And it's a brilliantly played fight by different dimensions. I mean, they were able to soak up so much damage with the help of Tanas, and MGB, in the end, knew that he could burst down Golden God. It was so nice to see them play that fight, because it was just so controlled, even though it was a 2v3. I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a pretty cool fight, and it seemed to go on for so long, and Tanas tanked so much in that fight already. I mean, he's got 2 full items as well as the Mercury treads finished up. Don't believe he had the Giant's Belt at the time of that fight, so it was very tanky Maokai for only being level 13, and he was really the deciding factor, I think, for Different Dimension in that fight, because he delayed so much time that everyone else could come over to the top side and help him out. Oh, on the hunt is actually popped there on the bottom side. They're looking to catch out Hungry Panda here, who might be in some trouble. Does have some sustain from the Starfall and will be okay in the end. So a bit of a optimistic ultimate there used by Ricardino, but it does force Different Dimension away from the Dragon, which is now being started up by True Esports. There isn't much for contest potential here, but MGB, he's going on towards the middle lane in a turret. That will be responded to by Golden God, though. So he'll be able to save that turret for now, which is already way below half health right now. And NGB might just rotate edge. He's actually going to steal away the blue buff right now. So a good compensation there for him. He'll be glad to have taken that away from Golden God. Tanas is working on this top turret the whole time, actually. Ricardino might be a little bit caught out, but I'm not sure Hungry Panda can delay his retreat enough. And Miracles can't catch up in time. Once again, I should carry looking for an engage here, but not going to find one towards the bottom side. Dismy actually might be able to go onto MGB here because the light binding did land on towards him. He did Valkyrie away over the wall, and Dismy has to back away because the Corky burst is pretty huge. Oklamat comes through on the side. Audacious charge into the wall. MGB is dead. Tanas, he can tank up so much damage, but it doesn't matter if Nidleeban isn't there, and he's not because the Keeper's Verdict puts him way away. He's come back finally. Dismy might be going down. I don't think he has his ultimate available right now. However, there is so much delaying coming through from Oklamat and Golden God. They're chaining the CC onto Nidleeban and Tanas so well. Nidleeban, he's got through it. Finally, he picks up that kill. Tanas surely going to be going down. Flashes away from Oklamat. Oklamat flashes to match it, and that sat magic heal is huge, but it's not going to be enough. Buckler hits him in the back. There is the kill. I believe it was the Sunfire in the end. Meanwhile, Golden God just about slays Nidleeban at the other side of the fight, and these fights are just so incredibly messy, and they're going so backwards and forwards, and that one was much more certainly in favor of True Esports in the end.
Messy is definitely the key word for that fight, since just generally any fight happening in this game. I mean, different dimensions, they didn't play it very well. MGB could, once he went down, the fight was more or less over, and he didn't have his Valkyrie. He used it earlier to try and stay safe, but it was a nice flank coming from Oklamat to take down MGB. Really the one that won that team fight over to the side of True Esports. And I mean, and they also got their first dragon at True Esports, and there's no reason at that point for different dimensions to try and contest the dragon, because they already got the first dragon, so the second dragon doesn't matter because it was so late for them to start stacking up.
Yep, MGB might be caught out. There is another on the hunt popped, but I'm not sure he actually got in range of I Should Carry. I don't think he got any speed boost from it. Dismy does get the slow though, and he's got the speed boost from his own ultimate running. Slows down MGB once again, but decides better of it. Doesn't know where the rest of different dimension are. Doesn't know if they're collapsing on towards him. And actually, Nidleeban's off towards the middle lane now, trying to pick up this turret. Can't quite manage it though because Golden God shows up to save the day. Nidleeban might be in a bit of trouble if they can catch up towards him, but he has a big slow in his kit. Dismy looking to cut him off as well as Oklamat's here, and he might be in a little bit of trouble. Phase dive though secures his escape. Nothing doing in the end.
That is a stylish escape with that phase dive. I must say, it looks like a secret agent just running from somewhere it shouldn't be, but miracles!
Meanwhile, in the middle lane, a fight has broken out under the outer turret here. No one quite went down, though, I don't think. A lot of ultimates and flashes burned there once again, but was not any kill picked up. I think Hungry Panda went incredibly low, but he's actually healed himself all the way back up already, I believe, with maybe a Starkle and his own ultimate used there to make sure that he wouldn't be on too low health for too long.
Well, okay, so it's not very often you see a AD carry surviving a light binding and then the combo from a Lux. It's very unusual, but he had to burn both of his summoners in the end, so definitely a good trade. I mean, you just take a look at Lux's ultimate. The Final Spark is already up, so it doesn't really matter. She can use it whenever she has it up, more or less, and it'll always be up to help her. Now, they will get another tower here in the mid lane, but big package coming in.
Good use of the package to zone away True Esports, and MGB took the top lane turret. Andy's come in to help take the middle lane turret. A big spike in turrets here for different dimension, which leads to a big spike in gold, of course, which means they're about 6k ahead. However, True Esports look like they have something to say about this right now. Nidleeban phase dives over the wall. There's a 3-man knockup from Keeper's Verdict, and Miracles is lagging behind. Gets taken down there. They're going to go on to Tanas. Tanas so tanky, though, and MGB can be dealing damage unless Dismy gets onto him, which he has done. So Tanas going to be tanking up, see if they can take him down. They're going to be able to eventually. It's just a matter of when, really. I don't think there's any great escape potential for him. Tries to get out, but he can't manage it. MGBE did manage to get away from Dismy, though, using the Valkyrie to escape. So, he will be fine, but that fight is beneficial for True Esports. But they've been winning quite a few fights, and they always seem to have very little they can do with the fight victory that they've picked up for themselves.
Well,
It will, however, be taking the middle lane turret by the look of things. Nidalee looks like he has something to say about that, however. Gone on towards Golden God, but he doesn't have all that much damage. He doesn't have the burst damage, say, of a full AP Echo. Actually, Duke's away from the light binding, coming in with that ultimate ability. Meanwhile, Ricardino's gone down as well as Golden God. The carries for True Esports, they're completely dead already right now. I should carry. He can't anymore because he's down as well. Hungry Panda trying to kite around the fight, trying to stay alive. He's the focus of it. But the fact that he's the focus is a big problem. MGB, he's onto a quadra kill now. Oclamat's surely going to get taken down for the Penta. They're chasing for it. They want it onto MGBE here. The culling coming across, tries to get Oclamat's low, and he actually steals it away. Miracles takes away the kill from MGBE, denies him the Penta, but I'm sure Different Dimension don't mind all that much. That's a huge team fight win for them. They can at least take an inhibitor off of this, you would have thought.
Yeah, they can at least pick an inhibitor. That is right, and those two fights, it was all about overstaying. First, there were Different Dimensions, but they knew that they could punish True Esports for overextending again, and it's very sad actually, because True Esports, they only have the two outer turrets, and they just wanted that last outer turret in the mid lane. Now Miracles might be taken down by the ricochets.
Yeah, oh, he's caught out by the light binding. Final spark comes across. The wish isn't enough to save him. He's going to go down. Tanas might have overstayed his welcome as well. MGB trying to stay around. He feels like he can pick off another kill. But I should carry gets onto him with the headbutt, with the pulverizer. Well, headbutts him back towards the team. Ricardino picks up that kill. Meanwhile, Tanas was afforded an escape by the sacrifice of MGBE. But you'd rather, if you were Different Dimension, that your mid laner didn't go down and your tank top laner did. But in the end, not going to be all that conclusive. We'll see what True Esports can do with it. And once again, it looks like about nothing, to be honest. Tanas still hanging dangerously close to the rest of True Esports. Looks like he's going to be able to get away. If he can keep Duke in the cleavers, though, which he's doing a good job of so far. That one hits, but they give up the chase anyway.
But in the end, Different Dimensions, they get an inhibitor. So with them getting an inhibitor, they can shift the pressure from that lane down into the base of True Esports. And the best for them would have been if they got the bottom inhibitor, because that is what people call the Baron inhibitor. It would allow them to have the pressure the opposite side of where the Baron is. Obviously, it weren't wish thinking at that current moment, because they still have an inner turret to take down in the bottom lane. But this means that if they just place some correctly wards, then they can go into the bottom lane, start to push that up, and also know if the Baron will be started. But the problem is that Tanas at the moment doesn't have his teleport up, so if the Baron is going to be started, then it's going to be a 4v5 defend coming from Different Dimensions.
Yeah, and Different Dimension have been relying quite a lot on Tanas' ability to tank up a million abilities coming from True Esports, and when he's pushing off in the bottom side, he's not able to do that for the team. However, he is going to recall now. He's out of mana anyway, so his pushing power is limited. He's pushed the wave aggressively. I don't think it's going to quite get to the turret. It probably will do when the next wave comes, though. However, Oclamat's is there to respond to it in the bottom side, which could give priority positioning to Different Dimension over this Baron now. Once they see the Poppy in the bot lane, because the TP isn't available, it will be very shortly, though. So Oclamat's should be able to participate in any Baron fight that did potentially occur.
I'd like to criticize Tanas a little bit on his spell path, because obviously you'd like to get a Randuin's in order to survive the critical strikes coming from Ricardino, and I don't mind him getting that item. I don't mind him getting a CC Rough portal as his next item either. The problem is, look at his score. He's only been part of 5 kills out of 15 kills, and he haven't even got a Rider's Glory. That is a reason why he hasn't been getting so many assists. This might turn around now that we see a fight at the Baron pits.
Yeah, Baron is secured by Nidalee there, though, so that's good for Different Dimension. To me, gets chunked out and bursted down through his ultimate. Not good there for True Esports. I should carry, taking a bit of damage. Oclamat's trying to delay as much time on the front line to buy his carries some time. A big chunk of damage comes through for the final spark, but Tanas picks up the kill onto Oclamat's. Ricardino, he's going to get slowed at some point if they can catch up to him, but they can't, because another expertly placed light binding comes through from Golden God, and he's able to save the day for his team. Golden God has been on point so far with these light bindings, I feel. However, it's not been enough to win True Esports all of the fights. They won some earlier, but now they're losing them. And now they might be about to lose the game if they can pick up the kill onto Rick Arlino here. They can't quite manage it, but they are on towards another inhibitor. The second inhibitor going down, and at this point, it feels like it's only a matter of time. They won't try and go on towards the end, actually. They might do. They have a wave pushing in the top side. 2 super minions in it. They have the Baron buff. They're looking to end the game here. Dismy's up in 3. Final Spark comes across, and already Nidalee has gone down. Different Dimension finally think better of it. They decide they can't quite take it right now, and they will eventually back away.
Very well played by Different Dimensions. Again, they get the... Oh, wait, on the hunt being popped. They're not done yet.
In a lot of trouble here. No way he can escape. Flash forward from Rick Arlino, picks up the kill. Miracles, he greeted for red buff. Why did he stay for the red buff? Nobody knows, but he's given over a double kill to Rick Arlino now. Good presence of mind from Rick Arlino and True Esports to realize that they could pick up a couple of kills, a couple of exit frags on the backside there. And with 3 members of Different Dimension down, there could be a couple of turrets at least going down for them. And True Esports might be able to turn the goal a bit further in their favor from where it was before. Dismy, he can tank up the turret for days. Thanos doesn't have the damage to stop him from doing that. Inner turret surely going to be going down. They can just keep booting Thanos away. MGBE though, his damage is a real threat, and they're looking to 2v5 right now as the teleport comes in. MGBE just flashed away from the final spark. Thanos tanking up so much damage on the backside, tries to get onto Golden God as well. Golden God actually goes down to the big one coming through. An excellent snipe from MGBE. Nidalee, he is respawned now and he can come towards the fight, as well as Hungry Panda. He's also available now. He can use his ultimate to try and keep Thanos alive, but it doesn't look like he needs it because he's 1v3ing right now. Nidalee comes in, makes it a 2v3, trying to get on towards I Should Carry. That's another kill. MGBE once again is the one who picks it up. There is the Wish coming through as well. Oclamat's not going to get stunned up by the zone because he flashes away, but Nidalee can keep chasing. He can stick to him like glue, and he's going to do it. MGBE once again picks up that kill. That's the rampage kill for him now. Dismy, the only member of True Esports left alive, flashes away. He's going to get back to the fountain, but there's no way he can hold the game for his team now. A huge minion wave is coming in. This is going to be game for Different Dimension.
Well played by Different Dimensions. They just bullied their way into this victory. They had the game going for them at the get-go with getting all of the CS in the bottom lane. They were dominating the lanes, and they're going to be taking a convincing win. They have some slight problems whenever they got caught out. They weren't too big a wall as they only gave up 3 towers. That was really the point to talk about, because they gave up kills. We can see that at the top of the scoreboard. They gave up 21 kills, but the problem was just that Esports were never able to turn all of the kills into any type of objective. They were never able to do that, and it just ended up hurting them so much.
Absolutely, and I think props to Thanos, who came through with a huge performance, actually did more damage than his AD carry in that game, so really big play on that Maokai from him. And him and MGB, they really did a lot of work for Different Dimension, and they were crucial to Different Dimension picking up this victory. So that will be it from us for this game. We might be back in a moment for the tiebreaker game, if there is one, between For The Win Esports and Enigma Esports. Not quite sure if that's happening yet, but I'm sure you will be alerted soon enough. Thank you very much for watching.